Talk. I'm so exciting because look who the wind blew in today.
Hi, the Florida wind blew me.
By way of Florida, the one, the only Tym Moss is back. We are so excited to see him.
Hello, Wendy Stuart. I missed you so much.
Oh my God, baby, I missed you too. I was here. There's a song, Dancing by Myself, Dancing by Myself, every single week, Dancing by Myself. But I told everybody and anybody all about your show.
I know. Thank you. I saw.
Florida. It was wonderful, wasn't it?
It was incredible. It was absolutely wonderful. Little House on the Ferry was a success.
It was a great success.
They loved us in Boca. I've always wanted to say that.
And you know what they say, if they love you in Boca, you can play anywhere in the country. Well, that is really cool. And I have to tell you, I also I love talking about Tym Moss. He's such a character. I loved his spare time activities because when the show was over, Tym Moss did not come home. Oh, no. Tym Moss was at deep sea fishing. Okay.
Yeah, we went. Yeah.
You caught something. How big was it?
This big.
I know. I saw the picture. Tim had his little.
Yeah, but I had the little fish about that big. But it was yummy. We got to eat it. So we caught our dinner that night. It was very cool.
Oh my God! Is that the first time you ever deep sea fished?
Yes. Yeah. Because we needed to decompress because it was very stressful for the 3 weeks I was down there.
For sure.
Basically, just real quick, there a couple of the dramas that occurred.
Yes, we love drama. Go.
You'll love this, because I was landing and got off the plane thinking all I'm going to have to do for these 3 weeks is do my character, just get off the plane for once and just be Donnie, and which is easy enough. I've done that before, role before. I get off the plane, the assistant director picks me up. We haven't even got out of the airport, and she goes, "I suppose you've heard." And I was like, "Heard what?" And she goes, "Oops, maybe Rob should have told you. You got to tell me now. What is it? Well, the lead character, which that is a huge role. You've seen Little House on the Ferry. The lead role of Randall is very big, at like 40 some odd pages of dialogue, of music, of dance. The guy that they were working with, who was cast in that, he was off book. He was ready to go. And he was an only child, and he came out to her for her to come to see this show. She was an elderly woman and she died a day later. So he's an only child. So his entire life just went completely off the rails. And he left. He was out of the show. That happened the day before.
Wow.
And so we had to take one of the guys in the other role and bring him over. And then one of the stagehands actually filled in for the part of Jake.
This is a nightmare you're describing.
So I'm thrust into, I was working with Christopher, who was now the new lead, in 1 week, had to learn 40 pages of dialogue.
You had to learn.
He did. So I was working with him every moment, running lines and doing all this and going over the songs and all of this, and then running over to the stagehand, who is now playing the role of Jake, and trying to teach him, because he had never acted, try to teach him how to get off book and how to memorize and do all of this with all of his lines. And once again, never even got to work on my role until I was practically on stage with it. So,
well, listen,
it all came together.
In your role, at least. But I love this conversation.
Opening night was not pretty.
You know what, Tim? Did they even know? Come on.
No, the audience had no clue. They had no clue.
Right.
But we did. And poor Christopher, who played Randall, he had a meltdown backstage because as much work as we had put in, the director, I got everybody out of the dressing room and he just collapsed in my arms crying. And he was like, "That was my worst fear." And it is, as an actor, to walk out on stage unprepared.
Honestly, I can connect. I don't know how, first of all. I could never be the girl that had to learn the 40 pages in a week. I never am. I never get roles. I have great character roles. And it's funny, the universe works in strange ways. I get roles that are right for me and they're learnable. I have yet to figure out people that can learn page after page after
Yeah,
page.
yeah.
You know, what do I
And
tell people? I did too
but
many
he
poppers in the 80s. I got holes in my brain.
but he was amazing. He did a
Amazing.
remarkable job of this. And the next night, from that point, opening night was very shaky and disrupting for us. But we all made a commitment. Let's come back tomorrow and just do it. And that's what
Right.
we did, and had a ball from thereafter.
Right.
And it turns out that the lead is the partner of the mayor of Fort Lauderdale.
Oh my God.
So the mayor of Fort Lauderdale came to see us, and I was over at their house, rehearsing and
I love this.
stuff. And like the mayor would just come walking through and I'd be, "Hey, Dean, how are you doing? Bye." And it was really just a mixture of all of this. Okay, what's going on? Okay, yeah, and there goes the mayor. Okay, and
Tim, you know what? You need to be writing this play about what happened. This is unbelievable.
Oh, there was more, but we'll
Wait,
just
and I have a title for it: When Things Go South.
When things go
you know
south.
what?
Florida.
Nearly as much drama as you, but I sure did have a good time. And I know you were probably so jealous when you saw my pictures of Fleet Week.
Yes.
Who doesn't want to take these amazing sailors and midshipmen and admirals around New York? And what a great opportunity. The Explorers Club, of which I am a member, I give tours there. And someone I had met there who was a graduate of West Point a few weeks ago decided he wanted to honor those guys and gals from Fleet Week.
Yeah.
And we brought them to the Explorers Club. I think there were like 35
fabulous.
of them. And it was so much fun because I got to take them through the incredible 5-story building named after Lowell Thomas, who wrote Lawrence of Arabia, and really talk about, we have so much cool taxidermy because back in the day, that was the only way to educate people. Right. But also, I mean, we've got a Yeti scalp. I love like looking at their deadpan faces when I talked about the Yeti scalp in the case, and they're like, come on, you can't be real. And I think the best thing was, right before Memorial Day, what could be more of an honor than to take these guys and gals through the Explorers Club and the conversations? I talked to guys who had been in Iraq and that were, now in their 40s and way higher up in the Navy, and they're lifers. They've got families and everything. It's such a different mindset than like performing, right?
Absolutely.
So very different than what we do. But my God, it was really great. So lot less drama than you had.
But still, I love that, and I love what you do at the Explorers Club. That's so fabulous.
Thank you.
Now today I've only got maybe about a half hour, so.
Okay, the clock is ticking, but you know what? I'm glad we had this conversation with you because you really outlined how things can run amok when you're a performer. Today, I have someone that is impeccable. My God, she's got 38 seasons of love, as she calls it. That's 38 years in cabaret and producing. She's going to tell you all about everything that she's done, but I got to tell you, she is going to be at 54 Below this Thursday at 9:30. That's 254 West 54th Street. The show is
in the basement of Studio 54. Where's Studio 54?
Yes, it used to be Studio 54. It's called 38 Seasons of Love. And my God, I can't talk about anyone who loves the world she's in more than the one, the only, Sue Matsuki. Come on in. You're sliding around the bank cat. And here you are today. So great to have you.
Always nice to be here. Thank you.
There's so many numbers attached to Sue Matsuki. She's an 11-time MAC Award nominee. And she won the 2020 Bistro Award for Outstanding Jazz Collaboration, 25 years with Gregory Turan, and 3-time winner in 7 categories of the Mac Awards. I mean, it's you know what?
A lot of numbers.
It's a lot of numbers attached, a lot of perseverance. And you know what? We opened the show with basically Tim showing us no matter what, the show had to go on.
Show goes,
and
goes on, yeah.
Everything that happened to him, the blow ups, but he ended up having a successful show. 38 years. I'm sure, girl, you could write a book about.
I could write a book about cabaret, but I could write another book about the ups and downs and the do's and don'ts. Which, when I was reviewing, I used to do these articles, part of the Sue's Views things.
Sue's Views, right?
Rather than out people that were doing things that they shouldn't do or bad protocol things, I would write these like what I call blank reviews, and I'd see 15, 16 shows, and then write what didn't play and what does play and how to do this, how to do that without shaming anyone, but to let the information get out there.
It's a how-to.
It's a how-to, but yeah. So I am working on a workbook that goes along with my book, So You Want to Sing Cabaret, but that's really more a textbook type thing on the genre and the art of performing in cabaret, which, yes, I've been doing for 38 years.
But you have, in this industry, you mentioned your name. You're an incredible performer.
Oh, yeah.
Entertainer. People love all of that. How do you just keep doing it? You first of all, you probably started in the industry around the same time. I'm not a cabaret performer, but it's a lot of years.
Yes.
And it's the ups, it's the downs. It's watching your friends that took the safe routes. And some of them got out in their early 30s and took regular jobs with nice, safe salaries, pensions, 401ks, the whole 9 yards. It's not like that for performers. How do you keep going through the uncertainty?
Well, I worked for someone 23 years as a personal assistant to a multimillionaire. I was a personal assistant. I did bookkeeping. I ran his life while doing the singing thing. Because when I started out, it was a hobby. Right. And I never expected it to turn into a career. I never expected to be producing 30 something years later. There were many times, as I'm sure Tim has been through this in his career as well, where I just can't do this anymore. I'm so tired of hemorrhaging money.
Right. Hemorrhaging money, right?
I'm so tired of, like you just mentioned, people who I never begrudge anyone for making it, but I always look at where someone's trajectory is and say, well, why isn't that me? Why am I not on that same path?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what's worse than
that comparison.
The comparison, but it's worse. And this person, there's someone that said to me, I just don't understand. And I said, understand what? Why you're not further ahead than you are. We're so blessed to be working and doing what it is we love. When somebody says that to you, that maybe they've had a break or their trajectory has just been different. It's so, you hear that and it rings. I'm bringing it up now on the show. It rings in your head.
It does. And I don't understand why people say things like that. They can phrase things differently, but you've been in this business such a long time and look what you've achieved, not what you have not achieved and stuff. And I really, really, really hate to compare, but as a human being, as a singer, as someone whose art is their baby.
Their art is their baby,
It feels like sometimes a statement, even friends who I go to their shows and their rooms are sold out. And I do well. I don't get me wrong. I sell out.
I know what you mean.
But, those same people that say, oh, I can't make your show and this, that, and the other thing. And I'm like, before a show, I don't want to hear that. Right. I completely respect that everybody has other stuff. I completely expect that during COVID, people are freaked out. I respect all of that. But I don't want the headset of I can't. I said, tell me afterwards. I'm sorry I couldn't be there because, whatever. But before it gets in my head a little bit, and it's just exhausting. The business part is exhausting. I'm not going to deny that. It all goes away. And I think Tim will reinforce this and you too, when you step on stage and now none of that matters because it's just about those people in front of you who paid to come see you.
Right. And it's how you feel.
It makes all the boo-boos feel better, but all of those boo-boos sometimes make you really want to turn the other direction and run away.
But let's talk about because it's like we have two careers now, more than ever, performing and having to be incredible at business, including the amount of social media and everything else. I just trying to explain to people, do you know I'm on, I call it my device, my thing. I'm on my thing freaking hours a
I
day,
believe you.
pushing these shows, pushing whatever I'm doing, trying to make it all work. Then I hop over to LinkedIn. Then I throw a few things up on, oh my God, the thing I hate the most, Twitter. And then, of course, there's Instagram. And God bless you, Tim. I know you put yourself up on TikTok. I got nothing left for TikTok.
TikTok's a diner on 42nd Street.
Thank you. I love it. Right. But I look at us, right? When we started, none of this existed.
Right.
So it's been split in half a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's a totally different world now, business-wise. And that changed probably when Irv Rabel opened 88's, because 88's used to be the club in town, down in the village, where anyone coming to town said, okay, where can I see a great show? 88's, because they had a very high bar of talent. So whoever was playing there was someone you could highly recommend, even if you've never heard their act, because Irv was really, really focused on hiring really talented people for his club. But somewhere in there, the way it worked, the way clubs worked. I was still working down at the Village Gate and other clubs where you got a guarantee.
The Village Gate.
You got a guarantee, you got a little pay. And then if they saw a bump up in their room or their audience, they would give you a kickback. They would feed you. And it wasn't just the Gate. I mean, Five and Dime, other places all down in the Village. So when the cabaret thing started happening and we became now responsible for filling the rooms, some of the clubs, not all, did PR. So some of them would help with PR and bring people in at the very least. And, right now, I mean, we're sitting here in PANGEA, and PANGEA has a website, and they put out a PR notice, and, they help you help them sell the room. But the onus has become on us as performers to fill the room. And that's name, reputation, and like you just said, Wendy, constantly barraging all the social media,
and then what I call personal harassment. You know what you were talking about, the people that are like, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't make your show. You're not getting a pass. Okay. I have this. No, I'm sharing that. I'm sharing this today. I have these lists. They're Wendy's lists. And if I'm giving an event or whatever, I make what I call the guilt calls. I make those calls and I stay on those people. First of all, they're important to me. This is not superfluous. My followers and the people I know almost all of them personally. Can you believe that?
I do.
And it takes time to juggle those relationships, cultivate, and I truly do want to see them. So we really have to bend over backwards to get those people to come and support our shows. And like our friends, Sue's going to be at 54 Below. We have her on here today. I want anyone who's watching, come to her show. It's amazing. Where would we be without our entertainers?
We're also live streaming. So if you're home and still freaked out about COVID or whatever, you can go to 54's website, and we are live streaming. So that's great. We're almost sold out. So there are still some tickets left, but we're really happy where we are.
So I'm glad you brought up the live streaming thing. Yes, Tim.
Because when you were mentioning like the venues, because one thing I don't understand is why the venues nowadays, I know it's all about money and they want the artists to bring in the crowd so that they can make money with us. But I don't understand why so many do not support the artists. Like they don't do advertising and they don't post about upcoming shows, because it seems to me that would be to their benefit, is to get more people in. That part escapes me. But one thing that I want to, go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you.
One thing I wanted to mention, because I haven't been on here, I haven't seen you this long, was right before I went to Florida, I had my 60th birthday celebration and was honored to have Sue Matsuki as one of my guests to perform. And Wendy came up and spoke as well.
We had a great time.
I can relate, because on the way there, and you're in the middle, I'm balancing, I've got costumes, I've got this, I'm running around, I'm doing this and that. And my phone kept going off. Oh, I can't make it tonight. Oh, I can't make it tonight. Oh, I can't make it. Oh, I'm sorry. I have a good time. Oh, I'm out of town. Oh, I'm not going to. And I'm just like, is anybody even going to show?
And they did.
That was my, because I literally, as I was walking out there, I told my friend, I said, it's at a point where I can't even worry about that right now. It's done. That's over. Whatever happens, happens. And I was so thrilled when I walked out there and it was full.
It was packed to the rafters. And one thing I have to say, anyone I spoke to that didn't come, I said it wasn't just a birthday party. At the end, when we went downstairs and had cake, that was a birthday party. It was Tym Moss's chance to actually produce a full-scale production with, like, some people do shows, lots of people produce shows. You also had a multimedia presentation.
Yeah.
The person would come out, and there would be the whole ad behind them. That really blew me away. I was extremely impressed because I don't think people realize what goes into it.
And you had sponsors, which I think is genius.
I know, genius.
Yeah. It's genius, because if you're going to put on a big event like that, we all know
Huge.
what that costs to do. So
right.
to have specific sponsors to your audience, I thought it was genius. And I had the most fun there. I mean, here I am, a woman of a certain age, going to a party that I remembered parties like that in the 80s, It's been a while.
Sue's got to join my world. I go to parties like that all the time.
I gotta go out with you.
Wait, yeah, right. You gotta hang out with us more.
Sue brought the most. We had a lot of cake, but I'm told you I was going to
her cake. Sue brought a cake that was out of this world.
Raspberry cream, coconut,
lemon,
lemon,
raspberry. Oh my God.
Is that your specialty recipe?
No, actually, that was a new one. That was a brand new recipe. The Melba sauce is kind of my signature, but I usually do like a double chocolate cake or German chocolate cake. But the raspberry filling is kind of like a signature thing. And then I have this fudge frosting. So I have 3 or 4 different cakes. My carrot cake is a big, Deb Stone, who's probably watching, she will get her carrot cake for her big birthday this year. So
right. Amazing.
I asked him what his favorite flavor was, and he knew he was getting some other chocolates and other things. So he says, "I would make a lemon cake." I was like, "Okay, I'll make you a lemon cake."
That was amazing.
It was so delicious.
I had 3 huge pieces.
I did too. Now, but
yes.
Oh, I wanted to talk about your before I have to jump off.
Yes,
I wanted to talk about this show tomorrow night that opens at Feinstein's 54 Below. That is just the beginning. Oh, correct?
It's the beginning of the next wave of whatever. It's not so much a look back. It's celebrating 38 years of having been in the business.
38 seasons.
38 seasons.
38 seasons.
And while it's not literal, there are seasonal aspects. Like we're going to start with the fall, which is right now. And that's probably from 2010 to right now. And then the spring was 1997 to 2010, which was pretty much when everything, it's a summer rather, because summer is kind of when everything blooms and grows.
Yeah.
And that was the time of my career that I was getting noticed with awards. And then prior to that was when it was really a hobby and coming up from the Village Gay, the Italian wedding band I used to sing in.
Oh God, I love that.
I used to sing.
Was that how you got your start?
I did. There was a guy named Aldo Signorello.
Oh, I love it.
Hello.
And he used to sing, "How deep is your love?
How deep
is your love?" So I would be, how deep is your love? Swear to God, that's how I started. So
I love it.
I don't know where you are, but God bless you.
but this is the start. Aren't you doing like a Feinstein's tour?
Oh, well, we're hoping to do that. Originally, I was booked to open the show in California, and then the girl who booked me there had booked me, sight unseen, because she said she saw me do Cast Party here in New York. So yes, we booked you. And then I tried to find out, what the deal was and when we're coming and all this. February 20th was supposed to be my date. And she had left Feinstein's at Vitello's in LA, and I didn't get passed off. So now I had to go back, and of course dates were filled in. So I am going to try to play Vitello's, and I'm going to try to play Fran, and then
because I think that's a fabulous idea with that one organization.
Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. So
Feinstein's shout out. My open mic is here at PANGEA, and PANGEA is now it's a home to me.
PANGEA, home to so many artists.
It's my home, and my brothers are here, and you cannot be treated nicer here. But when you go to like a bigger club, you don't expect that beautiful mom and pop attention. And I have to say, Feinstein's is a group of
here in the city.
Yes, amazing people. Everything is answered. Everything is answered with class and dignity. I feel like I have this small club love, like they do here, and they love me the way they do there with all these huge operations. So I have to say, I was really impressed. I wasn't expecting that, and it was a bonus. It was a bonus to
It's
realize.
great. It's great when you get that support. It's interesting because you kind of glossed over it, but the girl that had booked you out in California left, and you weren't on the schedule no more.
Isn't that amazing how that happens?
Right, Tim.
Because that was such a brilliant idea. It was such a great idea that she had.
I was going to do a tour.
Yeah. And then, but it's like out of sight, out of mind. And that's one of the pitfalls that we go through, you know, that your key person moves on and doesn't, and they just like go bye-bye.
And also people make promises and blow smoke up.
Say
right.
Thank you for saying
that.
that.
That's very polite.
I don't remember that conversation. I'm like,
right. Yeah, right. No, that's when we have to pull out our emails. I print them out.
That's when I pull the guilt card. I'm like, what
you said.
But again, we have, as artists, that's anymore. It used to be like when you were talking about the Village Gate. If you have an act together and it's good and it's solid and they know you, you just walk in, perform. I mean, there's more to it than that. But now we've got to be our own promoters and our own directors and our own managers and our own, booking agent and we've got to do everything plus promote it, plus be the PR. And it's exhausting just so we can get that much time on stage to be our pure selves.
Well, I have a question for both of you. Do you think there's many more people doing it now than when you started?
Yes.
We talked that it's a lot harder. Is that
I was just going to say, because back when you were talking about like the Village Gate and 88s and during those days, there was it was about the art. At that time, it was about the quality of the art, and everybody, we were creating art at that time, and now it's about money. The art is kind of like pushed to the side, and the quality of the art, and it's so frustrating and so aggravating to me.
Yeah, you have a big family, you can do a show because
exactly.
Or that many people buying dinner and drinks in the place, and it's good for business and whatever's, but. There are clubs, I'm not going to mention names, that you have to have, because I would not be the singer I am if I wasn't allowed to hone my craft in these clubs that allow
get your feet wet there.
Talent, super talents to beginners. I still will fight for those clubs that book beginners, because you're not going to become the singer that you are 30 years later without having introduced.
Really good.
However, there are clubs that, like 54 Below, you're never going to see a dog act at 54 Below.
Yes, right.
It's always going to be a place will have a high bar.
Consistent.
So, there is a need for this, and I would never begrudge anyone. But like Tim said, when it becomes less about the quality of the art that's being put on stage and more about how many bodies can we get in there.
And those seats, right?
Focus. And that as a performer, that's what gets me depressed sometimes, because I'll see people getting accolades and reviews because their show was full, and people gave them a standing ovation, but it's on that friends and family level. It's not on a level of being in front of a bunch of strangers that are now standing up.
That you're like a sacrificial lamb if you don't perform well.
Or they could be influencers on Instagram and all of that. I've went to shows where, again, talk about a dog act. Sorry, but
we know that even on Broadway,
like, there's not any level of talent whatsoever.
They do it on Broadway.
Place is packed because they've seen them on TikTok or seen them on Instagram, and the place is packed because they're known. But I don't see the longevity at all because there's just no talent. There's no basis of any future talent. I wouldn't think.
Thinking about what you're saying, you use the word longevity. Could things have changed that much where maybe longevity, maybe it is wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, that 15 seconds of fame, the industry's flooded.
As much money.
So it's like next. And maybe that's something that unfortunately all of us have to embrace, but there also has to be antidotes to that. Okay. There's got to be a way of getting around that. And I think we talked about it, wearing the many hats, producing, writing, all right. Things that are connected to the actual performance aspect. Whereas years ago, you're right. You could get up there and perform,
Yeah. The wearing many hats is part of how I've stayed in the business,
got
because
that,
when I
right.
wasn't just singing and trying to get people into my show, I produced a couple years back for Stu Hamstra, who was a beloved gentleman who ran a website prior to all of this really update on computer stuff. He ran a website called Cabaret Hotspot. No, Cabaret Scenes.
Cabaret-
No, Cabaret.
Yeah,
What was it called? Cabaret.
Was it Cabaret Scenes or Cabaret?
No, Cabaret Scenes is the magazine. Cabaret
Hotspots.
Hotline Online. Cabaret.
Hotline
That's a tough one.
Online.
Okay, so it was Cabaret Hotline Online.
Online.
Cabaret Scenes is Frank Dane, and that's the magazine, and Cabaret Cabaret Hotspot is David Sabella's wonderful website.
Yes.
Yes.
Online magazine, entertainment magazine. But for Stu Hamstra, I produced this show called People You Should Know. So I would do 4 acts, doing 3 songs each. So your same 1-hour show of young people who were really talented, and not young, not just physically young, but also people who are brand new to the business. You
young
know,
in the business, right?
People who are young to the business. And I would present them as part of Cabaret Hotspot, or whatever it was, Cabaret Hotline. And
People You Should Know.
People You Should Know. And then that brought more notoriety to me as a host and as someone that was choosing talent. And that ultimately led to my working down at Urban Stages, and then ultimately becoming a co-producer of the Winter Rhythms thing. So you got to kind of keep the ball rolling.
Right.
When you're at a lull performing, or when you just get burnt out and you just can't do one more show, you need a break, and you're still in the arts, you can kind of supplement and fill yourself with these other areas.
Well, yeah, because you're surrounding yourself with what you love.
Well, you did it. I mean, we all did it during COVID. I mean, we had.
Yeah, but I'm still bitter. I am. I really am. No, not bitter in an ugly way. It has been unbelievable what I've been able to do. Yeah. But I look back and I was very happy before. I would go to auditions, I would get things, I would do industrials. I had clients I could count on. Poof, the pandemic happened. Every single thing went away. Whereas my friends that had regular jobs were making their $150,000 a year. And Lord knows the ones that were psychologists, my God, they sat in front of their computer and their businesses blew through the roof, and they could be wherever they wanted. And here I was in New York, like, WTF, what the hell am I going to do? But you know what? Listen, we all did it. You know, Tim, the show Little House on the Ferry, you know, went quiet during the pandemic. I had gone to your what was it? Was it a backers audition that I went to when
it was the final night of the reality show where it's Theality TV, which is now on Broadway on demand. But it was 2 week. We filmed for 2 weeks and put together Little House on the Ferry, a full musical in 2 weeks, and we filmed it.
Right.
And you saw the final production of that, or the final outcome of that,
which was a live production. And then the pandemic hit. Like, it was like, what the hell? What is going to happen to everything?
Yeah. Now,
we all
tap dancing your way to the stores.
Just one thing before I have to step out, but I just want to say, my admiration for you, Sue, is off the charts. Not only are you one of the most excelled cabaret performers in New York City right now, but you are one of the most nurturing, kind, helpful people in the industry. Anybody can like call you and say, what do you suggest about this or that or that? And you're always there to help and put an arm around people and to help guide people through. And I'm so grateful for that. I know you, you know, you've just got such a beautiful heart and beautiful soul. And that's why I like you so much.
She makes a serious raspberry lemon cream coconut.
Yeah, but really it's the cake.
Tim, thank you for bopping in today.
Of course. I had to spend some time with Sue and Wendy. I definitely
And also, I just want to wish you happy Pride, everybody.
Yeah.
Happy Pride.
you.
Tim. I know you're crazy busy with all your gigs and everything. So
yes, I love you both so much, and thank you, Chauncey, our producer. Yay!
Yeah, our producer.
Alrighty, bye-bye.
All right. See you next week, Tim.
Yep.
And Tim mentioned Chauncey, our producer, who's doing an incredible show on the 30th of June. It's right up here. June 30th, you can get your advance ticket. It's called Abort the Court. Wonderful talent in that show. Moi is performing as well. There's so many great people. It is being hosted by the one and only Britta Filter. I love Chauncey Dandridge to death. You all don't even know the amount of work he does out there to raise money for the things he believes in. Awesome. He's got a spine and a half. So thank you, Chauncey, for everything you do. Tim, great to see you again. See you next week. And now, you know what? This is the perfect time. I would love to show Sue's video. So Chauncey, take it away.
Speaking of Chauncey.
Speaking of Chauncey, take it away.
Somewhere there's music, I'll faint the tune. Somewhere there's heaven, how high the moon. There is no moon above and love is far away too. Till it comes true that you love me as I love you. Somewhere there's music, it's where you are. Somewhere there's heaven, how near, how far. The darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. Until you realize, still my heart, how high the moon. How high the moon, it's the name of the song. How high the moon, though my words are now wrong. I'm singing it because Ella sang it, so I'm swinging it just for you. How high the moon does it reach the stars? How high the moon does it reach up to Mars? Though the words to the song may be wrong, I'm singing high is the Please, no one can scare like Ella, not even if you're doing one of her riffs, please. Ella, I usually open my show a lot of times. My Ella and Me show is my longest running show, yay. And I usually open with this song, but Ella many times closed her concerts with it because she said that anything anyone ever wanted to know about why she sang was in this next lyric. Somewhere there's music, it's where you are. Somewhere there's heaven, I'm near, how far. The darkest night would shine if you would come to me soon. Until you will ask in my heart. Until you will ask in my heart. How high the moon. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for Secrets.
Absolutely fabulous. That was just a treat. Thank you.
That was from a show called How's That for Openers? And it was a show composed of all opening numbers that I've done.
I love
which
that.
is so weird because because they're all opening numbers are all like big and welcoming,
yeah.
and then you do a whole show of them by the song 14, you're exhausted.
Yeah, right.
So-
It's just
so-
you don't want to open anything
Yeah.
anymore.
But this one I open or close my Ella Fitzgerald show with it, so it was a perfect closer because of that that line, somewhere there's music, it's where you are, and that's true for all performers. It's all about who's in front of you,
Right,
And
right.
if you're, as Natalie Douglas, our friend, used to say, if you weren't there, it would be terribly self-indulgent of us to get up on stage and just sing.
Well,
But it doesn't mean we wouldn't do it,
right. If you weren't there, it would be empty. But guess what? We'd sing anyway.
You know, if there's 6 people, they came, you perform for them. That's what it's about, you know.
You brought up a very good point, your Ella Fitzgerald show. And I highly encourage everybody, by the way, go to Sue Matsuki's website. What I wasn't expecting, and I've gone to her site before, but I literally started scrolling through a potpourri of menus of you've packaged these productions.
Yeah.
This is first of all, it's an incredible amount of work, but you could be in Boise, Idaho, and want to book this woman and think, well, what is my audience in the mood for? And it's on her. It's like a menu. Tell me how all of that came about.
Well, I took a marketing class,
You took a marketing,
and they looked at my website and they said, what are the top things you want to be known for? And first and foremost, I want to be a singer. I want to offer shows and sing and continue to perform, the production part of it. So we just went through and designed, I kind of had it mapped out that way, but I designed it a little more succinctly. Now, Ella and Me, how's that for openers? This Broad's Way, Peggy, Ella and Rosie. Oh God, what are some of the other shows? A pile of tunes on the side of the piano was
that
literally,
I love. No, that I love because there's so many people. That's what it is. It's
literally a pile of tunes on the side of the piano
Right.
that we had never gotten to. That I said, let's make a show out of this.
Yeah.
So, and then I produce shows where guys sing girls song, girls sing guys songs.
Right.
That's not such a big deal. A lot of people do that. Broadway does that, but we take Vegas acts and the guys sing female Vegas songs and the boys sing. And so there's all these different products. I call them products.
They are products. Shows. And you're, by the way, the first artist. My husband's going to yell at me for this because he's constantly saying, you got to have a product. You got to have a product. It's like, you got to have a gimmick. You're the first person I ever heard call that kind of thing. It's a product.
Well, as a businesswoman and as someone who worked as a businesswoman for years.
This all came from a marketing class. First of all,
no, not all. I mean, they fine-tuned what I already had up there and kind of actually wonderfully reinforced a lot of what I had up there. I just had to prioritize what you've heard of the elevator speech, right? You go into an elevator and okay, Wendy Stewart's there. How am I going to pitch her? I want to be on her show. What do I want her to know about me?
I don't know how to answer that.
Right? And the trick is, that's the thing. They get you to think about that. What do I need to let you know about me from floor 1 to floor 10?
Right.
That's your elevator pitch. And once you identify who you identify yourself as, first and foremost, a singer performer and then I'm an author, and then I'm a producer, and then I'm a teacher, and then I'm this. But right now I'm focused on getting myself booked as a performer. So business-wise, when I teach the business of cabaret based on my book, I have up in my office notebooks of each show. Every show I do, I have a complete
soup to nuts
script, music. I have a video of it. I have everything so that if Iowa calls or Boise or wherever calls and wants, the Peggy, Rosie, and Ella show, I pull that down. I open it up. I take it to Gregory or my team. We refresh it, and then we go do the show. So to put music back and to be scattered. So if you're thinking of yourself as a product, create your product. Make your product easy for you to just pull down off the shelf. And
I think first of all, I think it's brilliant. It's complex. How many years did it take you to compile your product, and how many products do you have?
I think there's probably right now that I'm offering probably about 25 different shows that I can put up tomorrow, that I know that I can put up. I'd have to freshen them up, but I can put up tomorrow. Over 38 years, I imagine there's 300 or 400 shows that we've done, but I don't even know how many performances, like the Ella and Me show's been going on for 20 of my 38 years, and different versions of it in different clubs and everything. So I think probably the past 15 years, I looked at myself as a business and started making sure that every show I now do, maybe the earlier shows aren't in a notebook right now,
Right,
but every show I now do,
complex.
and then I have my bass, piano, and drum charts in an envelope inside there because
Unreal.
my bass and pianist and a drummer all make their markings on my arrangements.
Of course.
So now, rather than have to start from scratch and make them all do those markings, I can go in and do a 3-hour rehearsal. Boom, everybody has their own notes and their own handwriting. We do the show, we put the show up. It's just,
it's a package. You're offering a package.
But it's not really rocket science. It's just business. You know, if you want to kind of present as the professional we all want to present as, you do the work.
But honestly, I know a lot of people in this business that they do shows. I never heard anyone come at it really from this way. And it's almost corporate. It is unbelievable how you have put this together. Now, I'm going to ask you, do you offer also in the package, because I'm fascinated by this, a video component too, that if I call you from Boise, I've got a club, do you offer like a, you know, do you have like in Vimeo, little video components?
This is new. This is new to me because you know, I don't.
We're brainstorming
I
now.
am.
I love brainstorming
I'm
with
working
her.
on my YouTube channel, and you know, you need to be the safeguard of your image.
Yes.
And there are clips up there that other people posted that, you know, if you Google me, you're going to see.
I know. You're like,
and you know, and I've changed a lot physically. I've lost like 80 pounds, so that I don't really care about my bigger self singing if the work is good.
Absolutely,
but if it's not
if the work's good.
representational of where you are right now, then Iowa's not going to know that that's who they're getting. You know what I'm saying? So this is recent. Every show I do, I tape. I now do a sizzle reel of that show. So now if they call, I can say, okay, here's a sizzle reel for
that's what I was asking.
38 Seasons of Love.
Brilliant.
And then if they want to see the whole show, the producers, I can send them the whole show on a video and show them this is the show I'm bringing. This also safeguards if places are more conservative or places are more places are more outlandish.
Yeah,
they can see if there's anything in this show that this isn't going to play for our people.
Okay, so then you know you know to take it out.
Yeah.
So you now, in conjunction with the notebooks, have had to create sizzle reels.
Yes.
This is a lot of work.
Well, my friend does it for me. I mean, Steve Bustamante is just a
round
wonderful
of
young.
applause.
Yeah, Steve, yay. I'll give you a shout out. You know, I give him. He most often films me like Feinstein's offers live streaming, and with that comes the video. So it was kind of redundant to have Steve, but Steve will take that video and do the sizzle reel for me.
And he'll fix it.
He'll fix it, and he'll you know, I look at it and I basically mark, okay, I want this clip from here to here, this clip from here to here. Let's scroll that review up here, and then he just puts it all together for me.
Isn't that great?
He's got a great.
And this is available on your YouTube channel.
Yes, it will be. My YouTube channel is going to launch very soon. I have someone working on it right now. I have a whole bunch of clips, and I have interviews that I've done, like you, during COVID. I started doing artist chat down at Urban Stages. So everyone that we were presenting at Urban Stages, I would have a little chat with them before their show went up and do what you do, basically.
Yeah,
help them
great.
Promote.
Those are great on a YouTube channel.
So I'm trying to do like performances, interviews, and then free whatever. You know, the third column will be just kind of one-off songs.
Again, I have to tell you, if you're a performer, it is a ton of work. I am blessed with Jimmy Starr from World Star Media, who did my entire YouTube channel for me. I had stuff up there before and a mess, as many of you know.
I might actually get his name from you.
It's a mess. He's my PR person, but he created just a concise, easy to find, tons of episodes of all the shows I've done in the last 2 years, all beautiful in columns and performances in other columns. And without him, there's just too much. There's just too much for all of us to harness.
Well, part of business is also knowing when to delegate and how much you yourself can take on. And we're both type A. So we don't like to see,
but I'm not a technical,
to see the power, but
I'm not a technical person, and I don't have the time to do that. I don't have the time to edit. You know, there are so many components now, and then at the end of the day, we got to get up on that stage and do our thing. And God, but as I say to people, well, that's, you know, that is what we do. What was the epiphany that you had that got you into producing? Where were you at that point in your life?
Probably I can't remember specifically, but probably it wasn't like an epiphany. It just was like a natural progression.
Okay,
I guess kind of like when someone says when you no longer can do, you teach, but I don't think that that's a complimentary
not. It's like
statement.
Those who can do and those who can't teach. I hate that. I totally hate that.
I value every single mentor and teacher I had.
Absolutely.
I had Trudy Mann down at the Village Gate. I had Cynthia Crane as an example. I had Jan Wallman, who owned Jan Wallman's Club. I then had Julie Wilson.
You had Julie?
Yeah, Julie's like,
oh my God,
yeah,
I knew Julie.
Julie's
my girlfriend.
Julie is actually in my show at 54 Below.
Wow.
Julie changed everything for me as a cabaret singer. Karen Mason, by example.
Oh my God!
But
Karen
by
Mason,
example,
yeah.
I say I have a Karen Mason bar whenever I get really angry and want to respond. And what would Karen Mason do? And then I try to be like Karen, because who wouldn't want to be like Karen Mason? She's adorable and wonderful. So all these women and many men like Sidney Meyer and Russ Woolley and Richard Skipper and
Richard Skipper
and David Sabella, the guy I wrote the book with. I mean, these men have also contributed to my tenure. Roy Sander was a reviewer who was with me from the very beginning. He gave me a kind of it was a positive but mixed review. And
in the beginning,
mm-hmm. And then he talked to me about it, and he changed just by his being there for me to talk to. He changed everything in how I wanted to be perceived and how I wanted to perform. Like a couple reviewers said in the beginning, I was using props, and they said, you know what? Stand there and sing. You're enough. Now that is an issue for all of us.
Am I enough?
Enough.
Am I enough?
I'm so tired of not feeling like I'm enough. And at this age and with this show, this is what I have to offer. Will it be?
This is it, girl.
This is it.
It's like we're putting it out there.
Yeah, but God willing, in 10 years, they say, well, where's the winter part of your 38 seasons? I said, well, if Marilyn May is still performing at 94,
good for you, right?
And kicking it, I am going to book my show for 2052, and I'll do my winter show in 2052 because
I love it,
and I'll be even more seasoned, if you will, in that year, because if you constantly work, you can't help but raise your own personal bar.
You have to, because you know what? As human beings, we never stop having life experiences. It's funny. Penny Arcade, who's a brilliant performer, had a post up on Facebook about her being in her 70s and what that meant. And there's some people that, my God, they're done in their 50s, and they'll say it's like this age thing.
Ageism,
the ageism, it just makes me absolutely insane. Every single day, every one of us is growing. My God, we're also blessed to be here. We walk out on that street outside and anything can happen. We can experience anything. There's people we can reach out to. There are people every day of our lives that will affect us.
That's true.
in such a way. And you know what? It's called life. We're living. And certainly as a songstress, you're up on that stage and you are talking about your life.
Yeah. Well, what other thing can you talk about?
Thank you.
But it's not me it's not me focused. This is my life, but it's Betty Buckley taught me this. It's this cycle of I know that you know that I know that you know. So it's a way of bringing the material that means something to you to an audience and make them filter it through their own stuff and feel and go through that process. Like I might be singing about an ex-boyfriend and they might be thinking about their dog. I don't care what they're thinking about. I just want them to feel.
Yeah.
And when someone after the show, the greatest compliment is not, oh, you sound great. Oh, you look fabulous. The greatest compliment is I had a good time. You made me laugh. You made me cry. I did my job.
That's it.
I did my job.
Your
That's
job is done. Oh, we've got some comments here. Wendy's not great at scrolling this thing. I don't know, Sue, if you are either, but we have to hit this arrow, right?
You don't want me touching anything on your computer, because
we're all so technical. Yeah, right. We'll just go to black or explode.
I saw my friend Katie was on here.
I did see your friend Katie earlier on here, and Margot Channing, who we love, whose show is coming up here on June 4th at PANGEA. Come see Margot Channing, 9:30. Again, Margot, another incredible story to tell, because life changed in a moment's notice during this pandemic, took a whole different trajectory. And I adore Margot, personal friend. We've got on here, I saw Sue's is on here, and where am I pushing?
See that bar? Just push it up, and then
okay. Wait, the bar went away though. Why does the bar keep going away? The bar keeps, why is that happening, Sue? I'm like so terrible with this. Okay. And at Bologna, I saw on here earlier. See, ladies and gentlemen, I'm cheating now. I'm starting to memorize who makes comments because I can never find them. All right, there we go. Sue's Hello Dolls, Tucker Chi Genero. That's Sue's Chihuahua. She uses her Chihuahua's name. She's a wonderful arts person as well, designer, supports people in our industry, does costumes for Margot Channing. I hope in Margot's show we get to see some of those costumes, as well as Ike Avelli's show 50 Shades of Gay, as well as Tim Moss was talking about his show earlier. Suze is your girl. She does the costumes, which is amazing. All right. And of course, I'm still not scrolling, but whoever I missed out there, please,
Thank you all for watching.
Right. No, thank you. Right. Thank you for watching and
Katie,
for tuning in.
Katie is also one of my backup singers, Katie Nyhazel.
And Katie made a lot of comments on there. Hi, Katie. Thank you.
Maria Corsaro. They have been, they've become sisters to me.
I
met them in Gregory's class, Gregory Terroyan, my musical director. And along with Skip Ward, my bass player, and David Silliman. Oh, I got them their opening night and closing night gifts because we're there for one night. So it's my opening and closing night gifts. I got them bobbleheads. I had them.
Oh, I love them.
I had them custom make them, and last night I gave them at our band rehearsal. They were adorable.
No, everybody would like a custom made bobblehead.
I go to my page on Facebook, Sue Matsuki on Facebook. They're right on the top. They're right under, right underneath your ad that I'm on the show today. They're right there, and they are just so cute. So yeah, and everybody's asked me, where'd you get the bobblehead? So I put up a link to how you can make a bobblehead for yourself.
Oh my God, I must have one because there's a lot of days I feel like a bobblehead myself. I wanted to talk to you about you and Ed Clark. Okay, the two of you have found this perfect balance. Tell me about your relationship.
Well, I'm really happy to announce Ed Clark and I just asked him if he would be a guest this year in my Christmas show that's going to be at Green Room 42 in December. Oh. And I think it's December 2nd. But Ed and I sang Sue and Ed's Fabulous Christmas. I know, Fabulous
Christmas with Sue and Ed.
And Ed is a lyrical tenor. And I am not
lyrical.
Singer.
I'm not a singer, so
no, he's a legit tenor.
Okay,
like
he's a legit singer,
like opera singer,
opera.
tenor, amazing voice. And he came to see my show with his husband Paul Steffen, and they were like, "Oh, I'd really like to work with Sue." And then they called me, and I'm like, "You know, I kind of sing standards and jazz, right?" I mean, I was really intimidated.
Yeah, no, but you were honest, right?
With this voice, I was like, "I don't know." But I have to say, we did 11 years of Sue and Ed's Fabulous Christmas. We took 1 year off, I think, in between. And Paul Steffen, as a musical director, challenged my voice in ways that I did not think I had those colors.
Because you had limited.
Well, and I'm working with someone with a very high voice, so I was now singing down in ranges that I didn't sing, or way above where I was comfortable with. So I give Paul Steffen personal props for expanding my range and challenging me to sing outside of my comfort zone. And Ed and I just had a blast. We had a blast. We had leather guys from Fire Island coming in, and we had all my Gigi Cabaret people and Julie Wilson sitting there for our Christmas show. So Ed is, I think, going to make a guest appearance, and we're going to do a couple numbers this year down at Green Room 42. And prior to that, on October 14th, I'm producing a show for Julie Wilson called But Beautiful. And Julie's not been with us for several years right now, but I have collected all the Julie Wilson Award winners. I was the first one in 2004. And from then till now, we're going to have all the Julie Wilson Award winners, and they're all going to sing one of Julie's signature tunes.
Stop. What a beautiful tribute.
It's going to be so great.
When is this going to be?
October 14th.
Okay,
we're doing 2 shows because we have that many winners. We're going to do a 7 o'clock and a 9:30, and we'll do a special deal if you want to stay for both shows. It's a legacy. And, Nicholas King, Marissa Mulder, Julie Rayburn, Jean McDonald, all these, David Lamar. We have all these, T. Oliver. I hope T. Oliver's able to join us. He might be on the road. But all these amazing winners and talents are going to be in the show. Jennifer Sheen said that if she's on the East Coast, she's in the show. Wow. So we're just going to kind of produce it, and everybody will show up. And
everyone loves Julie Wilson.
Everyone loves Julie.
I'm one of the last times I think I saw her at a friend's Christmas party. She was already in her 80s.
Yeah.
And beautiful with her hair This is some, you talk about aging gorgeously, nothing done, but hair pulled back, the white skin, the dark hair, and just the fluidity of her body. She really
was impossibly beautiful.
Impossibly beautiful.
When you look at her, you just Google her and you'll see these glamour shots of her. In my show, I do, I don't want to spoil it, but I do a moment to her as my first mentor. And we put up these 3 pictures of her at different ages. But I'll never forget my last remember cassette tapes when we had answering machines?
Cassette tapes, yes.
I know you do.
Answering services. I had an answering service. Remember all that?
I never had a service. I had a cassette.
You had the cassette.
But Julie left this message. Hi, honey. I miss you. Listen, I'm going to make it to your show on Saturday night. Please give that handsome husband of yours a kiss for me.
I love it.
And now I got to go dye my hair because I can't go out without a hat on. You know what that's like, honey, right?
Yeah.
And just she starts laughing. And I kept the message because I knew.
You still have?
I do. I knew it was going to be, I knew it was going to be maybe one of the last times. And she stopped dyeing her hair right before she passed and was just as stunning with this beautiful head of white hair. And
she had to be amazing.
Yeah, she was just one of the most beautiful human beings I've ever met, physically and spiritually. I will never forget her.
Kudos to you for doing this tribute show to her. I think that's going to be amazing. Normally, Sue, I ask people what's coming up. In Sue's case, we've just gotten through so many what's coming up, and I'm
PR person. Sure, I make sure it gets in.
I'm sure there's things that we maybe didn't even mention about what's coming up, but I'm excited for your show.
Thank you.
This Thursday, and you just might see me there because
I would love that. I told you we have a seat for you. A friend of mine offered me a seat for someone else who can't attend. So you're there.
I've got clout.
It's
one of the perks of doing this show. No, I'm just joking. I was going to tell Sue, if you want to come on the show, you have to bring me that raspberry lemon cream coconut. No, it's okay. I'm just joking. But it's always amazing to see you, to hear you perform.
Thank you.
You were such a treat at Tym Moss's birthday extravaganza, and
can I tell you how scared I was?
Are you kidding?
I was afraid.
Oh, no, let's talk about that.
No, I was afraid. I mean, I hadn't had stage fright or been fearful for a long time. I mean, this was an event that I lived at in the 80s, and now all of a sudden I'm the older mother.
You need to get out more
with all these great young people and drag acts who, of course, I adore. I have no, as a matter of fact, Alexa, I put her in touch with my friend David Mayoko, and he just interviewed her, the spoken word.
Satania Face.
Alex
Kelso, who I adore. I'm doing another show with Alex on. Am I doing Chauncey's show with Alex? I can't remember. I know I'm doing a show July 30th with Alex again at Otto Shunkin. Let me tell you,
I was so
Satania
impressed.
Face is
I was so impressed.
Brilliant, right? Because I never heard anyone do. And how did we meet? During this pandemic shit show, I was on these Zoom variety shows. I had never done anything like this in my entire life. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I just have to press when it's my turn to go up. It was so bizarre, and people don't know this, but I've said it. I had to drink literally 3/4 of a bottle of wine to do any of those shows. Sometimes I would read from my book, She's the Last Model Standing, or sometimes I started doing these parodies. But the first time I heard spoken word was with Satania. And how does this person, first of all, is it memorization or something else of poems that are so deep, deep, and an incredible person? And Satania has a show coming up. Yes, I think it's June 18th.
I think
this
so.
is what I do. I memorize everybody's show.
I was gonna say, how did you remember that?
Because I memorize everybody's show, because there's so many things that go through my brain like a sieve. Ask me to learn a 40-page script, can't do it.
Saturday, June 18th at 7:30 at Don't Tell Mama. So I will be there. Join us. You're not going to, but I was so impressed from Tim's birthday with the with the talent there that I was a little intimidated. And then when I saw the boys over here, when I started singing Too Darn Hot, and he was like this, it just put me at ease, and I just had a blast. And I said, you know what? We all bring what we are to the table.
I am so glad that you realized that, because I'm going to tell
time.
you something right now. First of all, hearing that you were intimidated when because Sue, like, what happens is if you make yourself afraid, you have a parallel universe.
Right.
By that, I mean, you looked out into that audience, and I guess you thought everybody was 28 years old, which, by the way, was totally not true.
Yeah, it wasn't true.
Ages were that's the beauty of our world. Our it can be older, it can be younger, it can be in between, but there's one thing in common, right? Everyone either appreciates the arts or they're part of the arts, and that's what you learned.
Yeah, I did
that night. I'm so glad you learned that lesson.
It's a lesson we all learn.
Right.
Every time we step on stage, there's something else to learn, and
Right.
just people are
That is
there to love.
Yeah, we were there for you.
Everybody was there to
It
love.
was like so many people know Sue, and they're, oh, Sue's one of the performers tonight, and Alex is new, and J.R. Price is new, amazing, right? But we had such a range of people, and look at Tim Moss walks out on stage with a walker and a robe on. That's how he opened the show,
and then a gold bodysuit,
and then he went from that to a gold bodysuit. But he's using the picture with a walker and the like you see somebody in a nursing home, he's still using that.
And we're both a little older than him, so shame on him.
Oh God. Right. I know. I'm like, Tim, are you sure this is how you want to market yourself? Sue, you are always a delight. Thank you for being here. Everybody, thank you for tuning in today. And really looking forward to seeing you next week. Be safe. Love each day of your life. It's your life, and it's what you make of it. Thank you, everybody.